Welcome back to Movies TV Man. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Man, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the dceu Daily. And Matt Reeves, the Batman, has been given a very prestigious honour, and let's take a look at this. The Batman is officially labelled as an AMC artisan film. A movie that gets the AMC artisan film seal is an artist-driven, thought-provoking movie that advances the art of filmmaking. The only other CBM in history to get this distinction was 2019's Joker. Kino is on the table. This is amazing. This is a brilliant, prestigious honour, and look, this is amazing. AMC Artisan Films, the landmark franchise of the Caped Crusader, is propelled to new territory using themes of film noir to unmask a fresh and effective detective story set in the corrupt underworld of Gotham City. The expressionistic camera work sets the tone, a captivating film score fills the mood, and enticing use of colour palette are employed as tools to enhance this daring and very successful cinematic experience. A delicious cast of character performances are featured as each clue is pieced together, including Paul Dano as the haunting yet captivating sadistic killer. This is huge. You people keep on telling me the MCU is so much better than the DCEU. The DCEU is dead. I know this is not DCEU, but this is DC live action. You keep on telling me that Walter Hamada doesn't know what he's doing. The only other CBM to get this prestigious honour is Todd Phillips and Joaquin Joker's wonderful, compelling DC Joker movie. We make movies, right? WB make movies. I say WB because I'm a WB DC stan. I don't care. I don't care if you hate me for that. Not one MCU movie, right, has had this prestigious prize. Over 20 films, over 10 years of filmmaking, and they've never got close to this because Disney don't care about this. Disney make money and WB and DC make art. And this is the overwhelming difference. In fact, for those people who say I'm lying and I haven't seen the Batman, the description I've just read of this movie is exactly what I've been telling you. But some of you are saying I'm just echoing stuff I've already heard. I've explained to you before. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to be part of this community. I will be going live. Maybe I've already gone live, or maybe I'm going live after this video uploads. Whatever the case, I will not be responding to negativity. It's a time of DC positivity. It's a time of DC celebration. Do you understand what this means? That DC is heading to a great direction. Superman the movie, Superman 2, and Batman 89, the Joker movie, and there's more. There's more compelling movies, whether you like BVS or the Snyder Cut or Man of Steel. These are movies. These are movies that are artistic because DC, as I say, make art, and Disney, MCU, Marvel Studios make money. But, funnily enough, WB and DC make art and also make money. Maybe not the money that's rolling in for the MCU and that consumer confidence that the MCU have. But this is the difference, and I think I'll stick with DC and WB, who keep on producing art. Everything they say about this movie is absolutely true. Every one of these rogues, villains gallery gets that moment to shine. We see them as people, not criminals, as I've explained before. So this is a huge honour for Matt Reeves. He worked very hard for this film. This movie is his life's work, which is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for all of you to see this movie. Those of you who have been fortunate enough, not me, to book a ticket for the special fan premiere, that's going to be very exciting for you lot. Don't spoil it. That's what I've attempted to do, not to spoil it. And so when you ask me difficult questions about the movie, I try and smile or say nothing and try and lead you the other way. Because at the end of the day, this is a movie that should not be spoiled at the end of the day. And, but this is a huge honour for Matt Reeves. And this is a huge honour for the fans who have, who have really pushed the envelope of, standing this movie and putting it out there. I think one of my subscribers, John, asked me what I think this movie is going to make. I think it will make well over $1 billion, but I could be wrong. This movie may not make well over $1 billion. It may make 500 million, should I say, not billion. That would be a big record, wouldn't it? But, it may make 500 million, 800 million. It may make just under $1 billion. And some people may try and say, these propaganda merchants may try and say that that's a failure. This film's not a failure. It's going to make lots of money. There's going to be more. Let's see how much it does in the box office. But we've got to stop thinking that a movie's box office is the seal of approval. This is the seal of approval. Whatever it makes, this is huge. And I've been trying to explain, this is another Joker movie. But it's beyond that. This is a Superman movie. This is a movie that celebrates the character. But it's a never done before version of Batman. And this is what Superman the movie did. It was the first of its kind. It did a beautiful version of Krypton. It told Superman's story. It made him the character that he always was in the comics. And this is what Mr. Matthew Reeves, Sir Matt Reeves, has done. I'm calling him a sir. He's not a sir. He will never be a sir. Maybe he'll get an honorary something, but of course not. I'm being silly. But my point is, this is another Superman the movie. This is another touchstone moment for DC. So many great achievements in DC film, but you lot are so obsessed with comparing the MCU to DC live action. It's not about that. It's about this. Matthew Reeves came in and he could have just done Ben Affleck's script and, directed Ben Affleck. He would have done a wonderful job. Ben's movie was great. It was a great idea. You would have had so many cameos and Easter eggs. It was compelling. That movie was also going to rock Batman to his core. I still hope to see that movie. Maybe one day Ben will want to make it. At this moment, it doesn't seem that he does. But this is just wonderful, everyone. And you should be happy about this. There should be no reason for anyone to be negative. If you're a DC fan, you should be celebrating this. Find ways to be positive. Talk about what you love and not what you hate. If you love the Snyderverse, if you want to restore the Snyderverse, that's great. Talk about the positive things about that. I will be talking about the Snyderverse very positively in a couple of minutes' time. But this is very exciting for everyone, including Matt Reeves. As I say, this film is a touchstone moment, and the Artisan Films seal of approval is huge. And to think that Joker is the only other CBM and DC movie to get this says a lot of what the MCU is all about and what DC live action is about. Let me tell you what DC live action is about. Variety. Variety that you don't have within the MCU. If all you want are Easter eggs and cameos and gags, the MCU's for you. I gave Spider-Man No Way Home my seal of approval. I gave it a very positive review straight after I saw it for the second time when I got everything in my mind straight. It's not about putting one film against the other. But all this shit about DC being in trouble, DC is variety. It has Arrowverse. It has Doom Patrol. It has Titans. Smallville was doing it before anyone else was, even the MCU. Smallville was a pioneer. Then we had the Dark Knight trilogy, very gripping, very compelling, but not even the Dark Knight got this seal of approval. Take a think about that for a minute, how special this film is. And I can tell you, this film is very special. So let's not see DC fans, knocking swords with other DC fans. We are in this together. We've got so much variety. Then we've got the Snyderverse. Then we've got this new multiverse strategy, which of course is also very, very exciting. If you're excited that Matt Reeves, the Batman, has been given the Artisan Film of Artisan Film seal of approval, smash a like on the video. If you're excited about it, comment down below. If you're not, constructively tell me why you're not excited for the Batman. Believe you me, there's not going to be a person who sees this movie who genuinely doesn't like it. Because if you're a Batman fan or a DC fan, this film has everything. Not only is this a great Batman movie that's very comic book accurate, it celebrates the DC universe, but not only that, it peppers around DC Easter eggs as well, and you're going to be very, very excited about that as well. Matt Reeves on the rating for the Batman. Matt Reeves on the rating for the Batman. In my mind, the movie was always going to be a gritty, edgy, noir thrilling spectacle that was PG-13. That was always what it was. But I always knew that we'd be pushing the limits of what that could be. And so we didn't really have, have I got the rest for this yet? To cut anything. We didn't have to cut anything. The promotional materials that you're seeing, they're fully reflective of the tone of the movie. There isn't some special cut of this movie where it's like, oh yeah, there's the R rating that you've been desperately wanting. I didn't have to suddenly start drastically cutting the movie or anything like that. I'm happy we got the rating because I want people to be able to come to see the movie. And this is very important what Matt Reeves is saying, by the way, because we want kids to come in and see it. Now, it being a 13 means that anyone 13 and above can come and see this. In fact, you may want to come and see this with your dad, with your dads, with your mum and dad, with your mums and your mums. Whatever family kind of environment you're in, you can sit there and enjoy this with your parents. You can go with your mates if you're 13 and above. This is very, very exciting. But this film does push the limits of that 13 rating. That's why in the UK it's a 15, where certifications are a lot more stricter. But this movie has it all. Don't be fooled that the whole near 3 hours is dark and depressing. It's a compelling movie, and that's great. I don't have no issue. That's the movie's strength. But it's also got some great fun and really elements that maybe we saw in 78 in Superman the movie, the heroic element of this character too, because after all, he is a hero. He's struggling to become that hero, but ultimately that's what Batman is. Staying on the Batman, Robert Pattinson wants to fight Court of Owl villains in Batman 2. Robert Pattinson reveals his pick for a potential The Batman 2 villain, saying he would like to see the DC Comics group Court of Owls show up by Andy, whose surname I can't pronounce, of Screen Rant. If that is the Batman 2, Robert Pattinson wants to see the iconic DC group Court of Owls, should I say, brought into the sequel. Bruce Wayne is about to make his latest return to the big screen in Matt Reeves' upcoming reboot, set to be a heavy noir detective story. The Batman centers on Bruce's second year as Gotham City's fearsome crime fighter. While skipping Batman well-trodden origin story, Pattinson's irritation of the DC vigilante is still fresh in the role as Gotham's protector in the Batman, with a number of iconic villains taking part in the installment. Reeves' Dark Knight will be mainly going up against Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. By the way, the first time I saw Paul Dano was in There Will Be Blood. What an amazing performance that was. That's when he first got onto my radar. While Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton portrayed a respective Batman in the DCEU, Pattinson's version will exist in his own universe, giving Warner Brothers another Earth in the ever-growing DC multiverse. Reeves and Pattinson have both shared in interviews that they see the Batman being the start of a new trilogy, as they explore this new take on the Caped Crusader. Following the project's intense marketing campaign and fan excitement, chances for a Batman 2 are looking promising. Tickets have already sold out for the multiple IMAX previews of the Batman, and that's just in North America. Box office projections also show that the Batman is expected to have the biggest opening weekend in the character's entire film history. While the Batman is expected to be a commercial success, Warner Brothers may already need to start looking at plans for the Batman 2. And Pattinson has some ideas. In a new interview with Denner Geek, the British actor was asked about it. About if there are any particular Batman villains he wants to see appear in his franchise. While the article mentions Pattinson bringing up Calendar Man, the star also spoke about how he would love to see the Court of Owls come to life on the big screen. Here's what Pattinson said about the Court of Owls fitting in the new franchise. "I'd love to do something like Court of Owls. There are elements of the Batman which are kind of horror, and I think it really feels quite new for Batman." I wonder why he's mentioned the Court of Owls. I can't think. The Court of Owls debuted in Scott Snyder's Batman run as part of the New 52 back in 2011, where they were established as a secret society that consisted of Gotham's elite. Having operated from the shadows for centuries, the Court is known for having pulled various strings in Gotham's corrupted history. The vicious cabal made their live-action debut in Gotham Season 2 while playing a main role in the Batman prequels Season 3. The Court of Owls is also set to be featured in the upcoming Gotham Knights video game. What's more, after early trailers for the Batman, there was speculation that Reeves' reboot was secretly setting up the Court of Owls for an appearance in a potential sequel. Something like the Court of Owls would be a fascinating choice for the Batman too. Due to the dual roles the group could represent with the Court's core members, they can easily serve as political obstacles for Pattinson's Bruce. While the talons of the group's army of assassins give the Caped Crusaders something to beat up physically, the Batman has even indicated already that the story will partially explore political themes, given the corrupted status of Gotham City. Therefore, the rebooted franchise would make perfect sense to introduce the Court of Owls eventually. Despite not being a known major player in the Batman, perhaps Reeves will tease the Court of Owls' existence in the first installment as some capacity. Right, that's that article. Now, a lot of people have asked me if the Court of Owls are going to be involved in the Batman. This is something I don't want to talk about one little bit, and you could assume from that now that the Court of Owls are not involved in the Batman. You shouldn't make any assumptions, but just go and fucking watch the movie. You don't want it spoiled. You don't want it spoiled. This is going to be an amazing movie, and the Court of Owls, of course, a brilliant concept that absolutely should be involved in live action. Huge projects for the future of the DC Extended Universe are being developed and planned in secret all the time, but now we have official confirmation by Boris Kitt of The Hollywood Reporter, who knows everything that's going on. Wonder Twins DC movie in the works with Adam Sitskill to write and direct exclusive. Now, I think this guy wrote partially the Black Adam movie as well. Very exciting, another brilliant announcement. Of course, the Wonder Twins was another part of the DC universe that Smallville represented for a small time in an episode as well. So Smallville's achievements go on, but the Wonder Twins is coming to HBO Max. Marty Bowen and Wick Godfrey of the Temple Hill are producing the feature for HBO Max. Warner Brothers is activating the power of the Wonder Twins. The Burbank-based studio has hired Adam Sitskill, who worked on the upcoming Black Adam, to write and direct an original live-action feature for HBO Max based on the DC characters. Marty Bowen and Wick Godfrey of Temple Hill, the prolific banner whose credits range from the Twilight Saga, Oops, and The Maze Runner to The Fault in Our Stars and Love, Simon, will produce the project which will be titled Wonder Twins. This is interesting, by the way, because Greg Berlanti wrote, I think he wrote, it'll be a big part. Did he direct it as well? I don't know. But Love, Simon was a big project from Greg Berlanti. So this is interesting. So Berlanti Productions will certainly be involved in this. The Wonder Twins are a pair of alien siblings named Zan and Jaina. They were imprinted on a generation of television viewers thanks to their introduction on Hanna-Barbera's The All-New Super Friends Hour. As young companions to adult heroes such as Batman, Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman, the duo then appeared in the Super Friends comic and over time became incorporated into the larger DC universe. I think these Wonder Twins are going to be in the Flash movie. I think they're going to be part of the new Justice League setup. This is very exciting. The twins were known for their catchphrase, Wonder Twin Power, activate. Said before, Jaina transformed into any animal, while Zan turned into the many shapes of water. While the characters became the butt of jokes and in modern times memes, DC has also attempted to update and scale up the characters who have also appeared on episodes of Teen Titans Go, Smallville and The Flash, so they've been around. Sitskill, an established big studio scribe, has a long history with Warner Brothers, having worked on movie comedies Due Date, Project X, Spy Guys, We're the Millers and Dwayne Johnson's monster movie Rampage. Now this is interesting as well. It would say that The Rock is getting a lot more power behind the scenes at the DC Extended Universe, which can only be a good thing, as well as serving as a writer and producer on Scoob for Warner Animation Group. He re-teamed with Johnson for Black Adam, one of Warner's big DC tentpoles that is being released theatrically July 29th. Since Kill is rep by UTA, blah blah blah, we don't care about that. But we do care about the ever expansion of the DC Extended Universe. The Wonder Twins project is really exciting. The fact that Sitskill, or however you pronounce the gentleman's name, is worked with The Rock as well, this leads to the theory that maybe The Rock in the end could be running things. Now, it would be ridiculous to try and say that The Rock could be the next DC film president, but think about this for a moment. Black Adam does look like a really good movie. He produced the movie as well as starring in it. He put the people together. He was very heavily involved with production and casting. If this film is as good as the marketing looks, then this would, I think it might be something that David Zaslav and Warner Discovery could be looking at. But it's yet another project. When this starts shooting, I don't know. I suspect this will start shooting very, very quickly. And I think this may be part of the 2023 slate on HBO Max, of course. And so it looks like Warner Brothers Pictures have a free hand to keep on announcing projects, which is something I've discussed in the past couple of days. I said, well, maybe we'll only get 3 cinematic movies next year, including Batgirl. I think that will be moved theatrically. But Blue Beetle and Shazam and Fury of the Gods. Now, we could have more movies theatrically next year. I don't know, but, you know, as far as I know, the only movies that are going to be available next year are going to be Batgirl, which will be shooting in the next, month or so. And then you've got Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and you've got Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle and Shazam, Fury of the Gods are definitely going to be released theatrically next year. Very exciting. So, The Batman is an amazing movie. It will change everything. A Batman in his own earth. The Flash movie will change everything forever, but I'm predicting Peacemaker and everything else you're seeing this year is basically set after Flashpoint. Now we'll see in the series finale or season finale of Peacemaker if anything in that context is revealed. But as I keep on saying, this is a brave new world, and it's a very, very exciting time for fans like me to be part of it. This has been the DCEU Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. I will be going live, so look out for that. By this time you see this video, I've probably gone live already, so I shouldn't have even mentioned it. Anyway, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.